Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Easy Learn. And today's topic is trigonometric functions. And we're going to be doing some practice questions today. If you haven't watched my trigonometric functions explanation video yet, pause right here, check the link in the description below, go understand the concept first, and then come back for solving. Now you can see a specific right angle triangle here that's ABC, where AC is 12.5 centimeters, the angle A is 25 degrees, and the length AB is x centimeters. Now, keeping a few things in mind, we should know that we're dealing with trigonometric functions in which we have the sine cos tan table, and the fact that we have a right angle triangle, which means that trigonometric functions need to be used, which are technically used to find the length or angle of a right angle triangle. Few more things to keep in mind. The implementation of sine cos tan, that is sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse O over h, cos theta equals A over h, that's adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan theta equals O upon A, that's opposite over adjacent. And a few more things. A, that's the adjacent, is the length that is enclosed between the 90 degrees and the angle given. O is the length that is opposite to the given angle. And H is the diagonal length, or the one that's opposite to 90 degrees. Now, keeping all this information in mind, it's time to analyze our triangle ABC. So we can see that we have the length that is opposite to the 90 degrees. That means we have our h, the hypotenuse, and we can see that another length given is the one that's enclosed between the 90 degrees and the angle. Now, it doesn't matter if this length is unknown to you right now, but the fact that we are dealing with this length, either in terms of finding it out or in terms of already being there, we know that this length is involved. The length that is enclosed between the 90 degrees and the angle, that length is involved, which is x centimeters. That means that we're dealing with A and h, the adjacent and hypotenuse. And now you have to refer back to the sine cos tan table and figure out which trigonometric identity is giving you adjacent and hypotenuse. So we can see that we have cos theta. Now cos theta equals adjacent upon hypotenuse. Now you're supposed to replace your theta, your adjacent and hypotenuse with the values given to you in this specific triangle. So my theta is 25. So I'm going to be writing cos 25 equals the adjacent, that's x, divided by the hypotenuse, that's 12.5. Now, if I take my 12.5 to the other side, because I want to find x, it's important that I isolate the x. And in order to isolate the x, whatever is attached with the x goes to the other side. Now, 12.5 is in division with the x, goes to the other side, turns into multiplication. Cos 25 times 12.5 equals x. Now, at this point, you need to pick up your scientific calculator. If you don't have one, just come on Google, type scientific calculator, and here's what it looks like. First important thing, make sure your calculator is set on degrees. If they ask you the answer in radians, only then you will select radians. Otherwise, in normal situation, you will always keep it degrees. Then you can see we have sine cos tan just below degrees, and because I'm dealing with cos, I'm going to be selecting cos, and then I have cos 25. Make sure you close the brackets after 25 times 12.5. So cos 25 times 12.5 gives me the answer 11.3288 and forwards. We are going to just round this off, and I will have something like this. X is equals to 11.3 centimeters, which means I'm going to be replacing my AB with the length 11.3. So that's how you find out your answer. Looking at another right angle triangle, this is A, B, and C, where my length AB is 8 centimeters, my length BC is 10.5 centimeters, and now I'm dealing with the angle B that is x degrees, which means my theta is x degrees. Again, keeping a few things in mind. That is, sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse, cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. And these things that that's adjacent is the length enclosed between 90 degrees and the angle given. O is the opposite, and it's the length that is opposite to the angle given. And we have the h, the diagonal length, or the one that's opposite to 90 degrees. Now again, you can see in this particular example, we have the length AB, that is the length which is enclosed between 90 degrees and the angle x degrees. So it's 8 centimeters, and that's our A, the adjacent. And we have the length 10.5, the BC, that is right opposite to the 90 degrees, or you can say it's the diagonal length. So, which means I am dealing with adjacent and hypotenuse again. Coming back to which trigonometric identity I'm supposed to use, you have to see where do we have A and H together. So we have it in cos theta. Cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Then I'm going to be replacing my variables with the numbers that are given to me. So in place of theta, I have x degrees. So I'm just going to write cos x equals the adjacent, that's 8 centimeters, upon the hypotenuse, that's 10.5. Now, another important concept which was discussed in the previous video, but I'm going to be telling you again, that is, if I have a specific equation like this, x plus 4 equals 10, and if I want you to find the value of x, you will have to isolate x, and for that, you take your 4 to the other side. Now, 4 is positive over here. When it goes to the other side, it becomes negative. It becomes 10 minus 4. Similarly, if I have something like this, 4x equals 2, and now if I want to isolate the x in order to find the value of x, I need to take the 4 to the other side, and because the 4 is in multiplication with the x here, when it goes to the other side, it becomes division. So x equals 2 upon 4, right? Similarly, if I want to do the same thing with this particular example where cos x equals 8 upon 10.5, and in order to find my x, I need to isolate it. So if I take this cos to the other side, it doesn't turn into anything such as division or multiplication. It in fact turns into something like this. It becomes cos minus 1, and in brackets we have 8 upon 10.5. And this cos minus 1 refers to cos inverse. That's how we say it. Cos minus 1 equals cos inverse. So when cos goes to the other side, it becomes cos inverse. Now, coming back to our scientific calculator, make sure it is set on degrees. And then I have this I and V right here that's called the inverse. The moment I click this I and V, you can see that I have sine minus 1, cos minus 1, and tan minus 1. This is the indication that we're dealing with inverse right now. So when I have to write cos inverse, I'm just going to be clicking at cos minus 1. When you write that down, it comes as something like this, arc cos, and then in brackets I have 8 upon 10.5, and my answer is 40.36759. And if I round it off, it's going to be something like this, x equals 40.4. That means the angle B that was x degrees is now replaced with 40.4 degrees. That's how you solve your trigonometric functions questions. Thank you so much for watching Easy Learn, and if you have any confusions, any questions, any queries, just drop them down in the comment section below, and do not forget to like, share, and subscribe Easy Learn. See you in the next video. Thank you so much.